From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Well, we did start off with some morning showers out there, but of course things for the most part have dried out for most of us. And that's going to be the case here for the rest of the afternoon and into this evening. But by tomorrow, really even as early as tonight, we start to see that rain begin to return. Looking at Crescent City, you've got the overcast skies out there right now. Of course, not much in the way of rain at this point here. And we take a look at Lake Oroville, also looking at the overcast skies. Looks like a little bit of rain trying to develop there, but again, for the most part, we're still looking at those dry conditions out there, kind of looking off in the distance here. There you can see out at Trinity Center, we kind of get that washout with some of those sun kind of peeking through some of those clouds here, but we are looking at the overcast skies there, and once again, not much in the way of rain. That is, we take you out to Lassen Park, and oh, what a gorgeous sight there. Some of the low clouds kind of hovering in some areas around the mountains there, but still lots of snow up there. And of course, you'll be looking at more snow here throughout the weekend up at that elevation. So again, as I mentioned, mainly dry out there for today, but we do have rain and the wind returning by tomorrow with snow levels mainly above 5,000 feet. And this off and on chance for rain will continue at least through the middle of next week. So there's the area of low pressure right here. There's the tap of moisture coming in from the subtropics, a Pineapple Express, if you will, or a Coconut Connection atmospheric river, whatever you want to call it. There's the main source of moisture here. This is what's going to help to really bring in and push that moisture into Northern California. We've also got this right here. That's what's going to be here by Sunday. And that's what's going to kind of linger in the area as we take you on into your Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday of next week is when we're still looking at that activity kind of pushing around and it's hanging around the area. And we'll show you that here as we look at Futurecast here in just a second. Of course, we're looking at it right now, and we're going to take you through the weekend here. Here we are today at 6 p.m. We are looking at those dry conditions out there, but overall, most of the rain is still off to our west at this point. Now we're going to take you into about 6 a.m. on Saturday. See, the main swath of moisture is still kind of pointed just to the west of the valley, but we're beginning to see some activity coming in from the south. So by the noon hour, once again, the heaviest rainfall to the west of the valley, but we are seeing rain in the valley even around the noon hour. We're seeing some showers here also for parts of the eastern mountains as well as, not to mention, Modoc County. Then we go into the second half of the day on Saturday. Now we're seeing the heavier rainfall for the valley, and things are starting to dry out. We're seeing less in the way of wet weather off to the west here. Once again, keeping those snow levels between 5,000 and 6,000 feet. Now, you can notice as we go into 10 o'clock on Saturday, most of the activity is now east, and that's where we're seeing snow in the higher elevations. And then as we go into Saturday night, into early Sunday morning, we actually may see a slight break. But then through the morning on Sunday, the next round of rain begins to move in. There's the noon hour. Taking you into Sunday afternoon, the rain gets heavier and more widespread. By the way, both Saturday and Sunday, we've got some gusty winds associated with this rain and snow as well. So looking at the forecast rain totals through Sunday evening, there you can see, I think we could see over an inch, about an inch to an inch and a half on average for the valley. And that could be the case here for the coast as well. And, not too bad even out towards the north and east, about a quarter to a half of an inch there. And looking at the snow, it's still picking up at the potential for some accumulating snow in Chester through Sunday, but now you can see it's not significant at all. So essentially what we're going to see happen is that I think even above Chester is where the snow is going to be. So it's not really picking up any accumulating snow in the lower mountain communities, but you head off into the higher elevations, say the Trinity Alps, Mount Shasta, the mountain itself, right? And not to mention out towards Lassen Peak, we are seeing a lot of snow, several feet of snow, as a matter of fact, going to make for a gorgeous sight once we do clear things out and see that nice fresh snowpack on top of those mountains. Now, For today, the wind's not so much of an issue, but by tomorrow morning, we're seeing those winds pick up for the coast, and then in the afternoon, those winds are making their way into the valley. So we could see gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour. Then we see that bit of a break here for Sunday morning, and then by Sunday afternoon, we're seeing those gusty winds again for the coast and even the valley, seeing 20 and over 30-mile-an-hour gusts. So gusty winds are going to accompany these storm systems. So there's Sunday. Now we're going to take you on into your Monday. See this area of low pressure, see how it's kind of off to our north and west, but the flow around that low will keep continuing to give us that chance for showers on Monday. Not to mention going into Tuesday, we still have what's called a trough of low pressure right here that's in place, and that continues to bring in some of that shower activity. And that may even linger on into your Wednesday, but Wednesday we may see a bit of a break, and then we dry things off for Thursday, Friday. This storm system looks like it's going to dive down to the south and not really have much of an impact on our weather by the end of next week. So looking at the forecast rain totals through the extended, just take this with a grain of salt to kind of give you a general idea, but 3 to maybe upwards of 4 inches of rain, possibly for parts of the valley here. And again, that's through next Thursday, and really that Thursday is when we dry things out, so really through next Wednesday. And then you can see upwards of around 3 inches of rain for parts of the north coast. So some good rain heading our way. The only problem is we could be running into some problems here with the potential for some localized flooding, and of course, not to mention those gusty winds and snow, creating some chain requirements over some of the higher elevations. All right, take a look at the wave heights there. You can see about 14 to 17 feet. They actually will increase here as we go into your Saturday simply because, well, the storm system's moving on through, and there will most likely be a small craft advisory here for tonight and then through the day on Saturday. Temperatures in the low 60s for the valley today and in the upper 40s for most of us in the higher elevations, low to even mid 60s for the coast. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. Now, I think we could see a break on Sunday for Alturas and Susanville, but notice the snow levels pretty much over the extended will be about 5,000 feet and higher, with that potential for some drier weather by next Thursday. Looking at the valley, off and on chances for rain all the way through next Wednesday. Then by Thursday, we will dry things out. And looking at your 7-day outlook for the coast, we could be looking at off and on chances for rain as well for Saturday, Sunday, all the way through next Wednesday, and drier conditions by the end of next week.